Before we start, I just want to showcase this beautiful olive wood cheese board that I got as a gift. This thing is really nice. It has a nice weight to it, a really beautiful look to it. So I just wanted to say thank you. You know who you are. Little bit of a disclaimer, this video is going to be a little bit different. This is not a video about how to make all the stuff. I bought many things that I'm going to use in this video. I am not making my own bagels, although we can in the future. I'm getting all of these things from the grocery store so that I can utilize the product that I made and take advantage of the opportunity to make cheese. All right, we're just gonna eyeball this. I say that because we're almost done. This is about the volume of cream cheese that we're gonna get. We're gonna loosen it up a little bit with the whey. Get our bagels onto toast. And I'm gonna add just a pinch of salt to start, and maybe about a tablespoon of our whey, and give that a mix. Needs to come together a little bit more, maybe about a tablespoon more of the whey. I'm gonna scrape down the sides since we don't have a lot in here. You can also make more if you want to. I'm just trying to make as many things from this cheese ball as I can. And we all know what cream cheese is supposed to look like. That has a little bit more texture to it than I want, but it's also wet enough. So I'm just going to food process it for a little bit longer. I'm gonna go one more time. And that is good enough for me. Let's give it a taste. It's very cheesy, it's very flavorful, tastes very fresh. It has a little bit more of a texture than the creamy cream cheese that you buy from the supermarket. This is really good because it's really fresh, but let's find a few ways to make this more interesting. This one that I'm keeping plain, I'm adding a little bit more salt. Make sure to taste it. Make sure that it's good for you. For this one, I'm gonna bring out my mortar and pestle. This can definitely be done in the food processor. I just wanted to make different cream cheeses. And I'm just gonna add the herbs that I put on that cheese ball. This is rosemary and thyme. Grind them until they're not going to be gritty anymore. They're going to play very nicely with our cream cheese. And that is an herby cream cheese. I probably want a little more salt in that one as well. For this one, I'm going for something a little more sweet. I have some strawberry preserves here. And let's just eyeball how much we need there. We can always add more. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the rest of this that I have. And maybe that doesn't look as pretty as the strawberry cream cheese you're gonna buy from the grocery store, but it doesn't have any food coloring in it. Ah, that's wonderful. And dishing up, I have a plain bagel with the plain cream cheese. Let's put some strawberry cream cheese on the other half of that plain bagel. And then on mine, which is the everything bagel, I'm gonna go with the herbs. And then just so I can taste them all, let's do this. Plain cream cheese first. Let's do it again. There we go. Time for herbs. And you'll notice I salted this one less than I salted this, and this is perfect. And you'll notice I didn't salt that one at all. Or we can put it on top of tacos. I'm gonna give you two in this one. I'm gonna make an egg taco. I'm going to scramble it with a little bit of the sour cream and then top it with some cheese crumbles, just like a queso fresco. Just a little bit of this cream cheese here, and I'm gonna loosen it up with a little bit of the whey, just so it blends nicely with those eggs. Onions start showing a little color. I'm gonna pop my peppers in. Since I'm eating a lot of food today, I'm just gonna go with one egg. When the egg goes in, so does our tortilla. And that's it, heat off. We're gonna give that a lime wedge. Little cilantro. And a couple of crumbles. Very similar to a queso fresco. I like cumin, and we didn't salt this, so here we go. Or we could make some cottage cheese. Making cottage cheese, very simple. I'm gonna take my farmer's cheese and I'm actually going to chop it or just cut it kind of into the shape that I want to. You could crumble it, but cottage cheese is cut. We're gonna loosen it up with a little milk. Loosen up is probably the wrong term. We are going to make it a little creamier because we don't want to smash this up at all. We want all those nice cottage cheese curds. A little bit more milk. And you can do this with the whey, like we did with the cream cheese, or you can do this with heavy cream. I like milk. It's a nice compromise. Let's get a little more cheese going in there. There we go. That is the consistency that we are looking for. And now all we need is some salt. And bring out that flavor. And that's it. Take it easy on the salt on this one. You're really seasoning the milk that's surrounding the cheese, and there's a lot less area to season than something like our cream cheese. Now personally, I like my cottage cheese with a little baked beans. And I like to get those flavors together. It's really a mix of sweet and savory, kind of perfect together. I told my roommate she could eat all the pickles she wanted, but she had to leave me the most pickly looking pickle. So here we go. Now I'm from southern Wisconsin, where it's completely normal to eat a dairy product with every meal. But we also have a lot of cuisine coming in from Chicago. So that's what I'm gonna make today. A Chicago dog is as followed. 1 all beef frank, mustard, sweet relish, onion, tomato, a dill pickle spear, and what I think makes a Chicago dog, sport peppers, and celery salt. A real Chicago dog has a poppy seed bun and it has yellow mustard. I couldn't find a poppy seed bun and I prefer Dijon mustard, but otherwise, this is a taste of home right here. And of course, our reason for being here. Yeah, it's really fresh. It has a really nice curd. You can control it, which I like a lot. In real cottage cheese making, you slice the curd before you even take it out of the whey. Makes for a little bit more of a uniform product. You can get those nice big curds, but this still tastes amazing. And of course, I like it with the beans. Cheers. Dinner time, medium heat. Oil's already in the pan. This cheese is very similar to an Indian cheese called paneer. If I had pressed this cheese down, if I had kept a pot or something on top of it while the cheese was resting, it would be a little bit more dense. You can put a cutting board over top with a heavy cast iron pan to squeeze out all of that moisture. I dated an English major in college who was also a vegetarian, and she had these huge encyclopedias that she would put on top of her tofu to squeeze out all that water. I'm not done yet. I have one more dish to do, so I'm gonna do my best to divide this in half. And what I want from this are squares. And if this were paneer, if I packed this a little bit denser, I could toss this in some sauce, I could char it. This is a little bit more loose, so I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm gonna let it sit in the sauce, I'm gonna let it simmer. A great way to doctor any store-bought sauce, little garlic and onion right in the pan. This is about 3 cloves of roughly chopped garlic. I'm going to put the cheese into the pan so it has full contact with the heat, just kind of picking where I want this to go. And we reduce the heat, pour in our tikka masala in a bag. Saffron Road does a good job. Now this is going to be awesome as is served over rice, but if we really want to give it a restaurant flair, we can char some peppers and onions. That char on those onions and peppers is what's gonna really make this dish. These onions are perfect. I'm just gonna put them in as is. These peppers, I'm gonna cut one more time in half. Gonna be very delicate with this cheese so it doesn't fall apart. And I just want all of these ingredients to simmer together for a few minutes, get those onions nice and soft, but still have a little snap to them. I might even add a little water to give those onions and peppers some more time to cook through. Or how about the creamiest mac and cheese you've ever had? Use the recommended amount of milk, and then on every mac and cheese box I've ever seen, it's always said optional, add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter for a richer flavor. What if I can promise you a creamier mac and cheese than that with half the calories of butter? 2 tablespoons of our homemade cream cheese. That is just some of the most decadently rich mac and cheese I've had. This is beautiful. Little rice. Get some onion and some pepper in there. Make sure to get the cheese. Smells like the real deal. That smoke from the char is really gonna set this apart. That's really nice. Let's get a piece of cheese. Sweet, spicy, creamy, delicious. It's amazing. Let's move on to dessert. First of all, I'm going to weigh the cheese that I have left because that is going to inform my dish. 108 grams or just shy of 4 ounces. I'm going to zest about half this lemon in here. Really good. An egg. Two teaspoons of sugar and 1 of vanilla. Now you can definitely use the cream cheese that we made this morning for this, but I like a little texture in my cheese pastries. That's my filling. I'm gonna do 2 toppings. One is just going to be a fig fruit spread that my mother got me over the holidays. And then I'm gonna do sort of a baked apple thing. So let's make that. Teaspoon of sugar, maybe about half a teaspoon of cinnamon, little lemon juice, puff pastry, Before I get started, I'll need an egg wash, which is just a beaten egg with a little bit of water. So let's start by egg washing these corners. And then we are going to fold all of these corners. Don't be afraid to press down a little bit. Oh. So that the entire puff pastry takes on like a hexagon shape. I think I'm going to put a little flour in here to give it some structure. Half of these are getting some fig. And the other half, some apple. The rest of these are going to go great on top of oatmeal in the morning. Then egg wash the exposed pastry. Preheat your oven to 350. Line a baking sheet with some parchment paper. All right, we're baked, we're cooled. It took about 35 minutes at 350. Next time I do this, I'm gonna turn the temperature up a little bit. Let's go for a fig one. Oh, That's really nice. Cheese filling, that fig on top, nice, crunchy. Pastry layers. Oh, that's so good. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a lot of ideas and inspiration out of it, even if you're not making farmer's cheese, even if you don't need to use it in a multitude of ways. I hope that you at least look inside of your refrigerator and use what you have. Get in the kitchen, make yourself something awesome, and let your hunger be your inspiration. Cheers.